Today, we need to talk about something that looks completely broken on the surface. We have 1.2 million job cuts announced in 2025. This is the worst labor market since the great financial crisis. Yet the S&P 500 has added trillions of dollars in market cap, and it keeps ripping to new all-time highs. So most Americans believe we're in a recession, but the data says otherwise. So what's going on? Let's break it down. So we have massive layoffs announced and historic weakness. So U.S. employers have already announced about 1.17 million job cuts in 2025. This is the second highest total in 16 years. November alone saw more than 71,000 layoffs, the third highest monthly total ever recorded, and it's hitting everyone, even highly educated workers. So if you look at this chart right here, this is college-educated job loss rises. The yellow line is the share of U.S. unemployed with four-year degrees, and you can see that it's been ticking up in the last couple of years or so. Is this all computer programmers, computer science majors? Who knows, right? But that's what the data is showing. So unemployed Americans with four-year degrees now make up 25.3% of total unemployment, a record high that's double 2008 levels and worse than 2020. The labor market is weakening across all demographics, and people can feel it. So let's take a look at this screenshot from The Daily Shot. So you can see right here, the blue thick dotted line is 2025. The blue thick dotted line is 2025. Pause. 2009 is the skinny navy blue line, and then the 2020 cerveza sickness was the red line right here. So you can see right here in 2025, these jobs are the job cuts total, the year-to-date total is creeping up. This is data for the end of November, and then obviously at the time of this recording, we're about mid-December of 2025. So you can see that it's a notch above, or a few standard deviations above, where all these other years are with these lines. The lowest was actually 2022, which is this purple line down here. And then again, you can see 2020 was just a hockey stick up and to the right. But these navy blue and dark blue, the thick dotted blue, you can see that they're pretty steadily increasing, and they are significantly higher than all the other lines below it. More than 60% of Americans genuinely believe that we're in a recession, and honestly, it makes sense. About 68% say inflation and the cost of living make it feel like one. And half of the people say their family members are constantly stressed about money. This is the real economy, the everyday lived experience, and it feels recessionary even if the numbers don't officially say it is. I talk a lot about this, especially over the past year and a half. Every time I go to Longhorn or drive by a Longhorn steakhouse, and I'm just using Longhorn because it's a chain, everyone, at least in America, listening or watching to this video can relate. The parking lot is packed. You walk in there, it's packed. Every booth is packed. It's packed nonstop. People are just smashing steak. And with beef prices at all-time highs, it's pretty crazy. Take a look at this chart right here. Polymarket actually has the probability of a recession by 2027 at just 33%. This is the lowest level yet. So US GDP grew 3.8% year over year in Q2 and 1.6% in the first half of 2025. So that's not recessionary territory, okay? So the disconnect between what people feel and what the numbers show is kind of interesting to me. My big thesis on all this has always been linked to unemployment, right? Yes, we're not going to see 07, 08 levels of, housing prices crashing and things like that. But what we are going to see is people that can't service their credit card debt, those are most likely, in my opinion, going to start to default first. So here's the truth, okay? So about 63% of U.S. GDP growth this year came from AI-related spending. So let me actually put this chart up on the screen. So spending on data centers, which I did my last video about, has tripled since ChatGPT launched in 2022, while spending on everything else, so these are structures excluding data centers, is actually down 20% since the 2023 peak. So we essentially have two economies, okay? We have the AI-driven corporate boom, and then we have the weakening consumer-driven economy. This is why the Fed is cutting rates for the third time this year at the time of this recording. They're not doing it for big tech, okay? If you look back at this S&P 500 map, this is FinViz. For any of you people that are not familiar with FinViz, I've been using this since college. It's a great website. Look at technology right here. Look at communication services. This is for the past 6 months, okay? If you look at the past 3 months, it's a little bit more flat, a little bit more red. And if you look at the past week, it's definitely in the red. But that's not why the Fed is cutting, you guys. Sorry, I clicked on the wrong tab. You can see the AI spending is holding up the global economy, okay? So basically, they're doing it because American households are struggling. If you look at the last video from How Money Works, it's a great channel. Go check him out. He talks about how the gig economy, so people, instead of choosing unemployment, they're actually just going into the gig economy. So your DoorDashes, your Uber Eatses, your Ubers, your Lyfts, those kinds of jobs, instead of taking the unemployment check. The next slide that we're about to get into here is pretty interesting. It's going to have to do with Wall Street soaring while Main Street is feeling pain. But before we get into that, here's today's sponsor, Policy Genius. So I was thinking the other day about gifts I got as a kid. You know, the one thing that you beg for all year. It's expensive, it's exciting. Sometimes it was video games, sometimes it was a bike. And then a year later, it's broken, lost, or sitting in a drawer somewhere, right? You forget about it. So it hit me. Most gifts don't last or they're forgotten about. But the ones that actually matter now that I'm a father, security, peace of mind, knowing your family is protected no matter what happens, that's where Policy Genius comes in. Almost half of American adults say their family would struggle financially within 6 months if their primary income disappeared. That's not fear-mongering, that's reality. And I don't want anyone watching this channel to be in that position. Policy Genius isn't an insurance company. They're a marketplace that helps you compare life insurance options from top insurers in just a few clicks, so you're not overpaying or guessing. And this part matters. With Policy Genius, real users have gotten 20-year, $2 million life insurance policies for $53 a month. What I like is clarity. Coverage amounts, prices, terms, they're laid out cleanly. You can even talk to licensed agents who handle the paperwork and walk you through everything. That's what me and my wife did. So don't wait until next year. Give your family the gift of security today. Head to policygenius.com/whiteboardfinance or click the link in the description to compare free life insurance quotes and see how much you could save. That's policygenius.com/whiteboardfinance. So the S&P 500 has added $17 trillion in market cap since April, and it's on pace for its 29th record high of the year. We've just seen the sixth 35% plus 6-month rally in 30 years. So meanwhile, most people think the stock market is down. Well, why? Because their personal economy is shrinking even while the corporate economy is exploding. So if you take a look at this, if you watch all my old videos from like Liberation Day, go back to those old Liberation Day videos. And every single one of those videos, I told you, buy the dip, okay? Don't be a coward, buy the dip. Every single video, go rewatch all of them. I put in probably $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. If you look at Whiteboard Finance University, I share all my buys. I invested probably 40, 50, 60 grand during that time, and look at what it's done since. So if you look at April 7th, we're right at around 5,000, and this is just a chart of the S&P 500 as an index. Look at where we're at right now. We're at 6,700, okay? And we were just at 6,900 a couple days ago. So anyway, the top 10% of U.S. stocks now make up 76% of the entire market, okay? This is absolutely insane. So this means that mega cap AI winners, they're dragging the entire index higher regardless of what's happening to the average American, okay? This is why people that don't own assets are going to get left behind. I've been telling you this for 8 years. Savers are losers, okay? They are losing they're losing purchasing power to inflation. That's what I mean by that, okay? A lot of people that are a little bit, on the short bus. Sorry, that's not nice. A lot of people that don't understand what I'm trying to say, even though I've explained it very eloquently and very diplomatically. Let me put it to you very, I'll just go very Eastern European, okay? Cash is trash and it's a melting ice cube. When the money is made up, okay, like fiat currency, when the money is not real, when it's not tied to anything except the military-industrial complex, petrodollars, how many military bases we can build around the globe to protect our purchasing power and our currency, and tax receipts and international demand for dollars. Savers are losers. You need assets to protect your PP. Protect your PP, your purchasing power. I got a big PP. You got to protect it. Okay, so here's the part no one is talking about. Big tech doesn't need rate cuts. Okay, I just showed you a chart of FinViz and also of the S&P 500. And again, I forgot to talk about this chart. I think this is pretty interesting. This is the market cap weight of the top 10% of the largest U.S. stocks. Okay, this was the dot-com bubble. Okay, back in 2000. This is the late 90s, early 2000s. Some of you weren't even born watching this video during this time. Okay. This was my time right here, 07, 08. I was in college. I graduated in December of 2010 with a finance degree into like 11% unemployment rate. And that's not even counting people that stopped looking for jobs. It was actually much higher. Most people think it was like 15, 20%. Almost 1 out of 5 people had no job. So basically, I go from getting a finance degree to selling cars. Okay, I'm working with drug addicts, alcoholics, with the finance. It's like, why did I even go to college for? Okay, I could have done this without a GED. And I'm not disparaging car salesmen. I'm just saying, why did I get a finance degree? I could have done this without doing that. So anyway, my point is that if you look at this chart, rate cuts in a weak labor market with sticky 3+% inflation, it's going to create a stagflation-like environment where nominal asset prices rise. Okay, the number of the asset price rises. Stocks, commodities, real estate, Bitcoin, they all move higher in nominal terms. Okay, this is why we expect the S&P 500 to move towards 7,000 plus, okay? Not because the broad economy is strong, but because the largest companies are strong and they dominate the index like never before. So what do you need to do? The AI revolution is reshaping everything. Labor markets, GDP, capital flows, corporate profits, commodity demand, even Fed policy, okay? The wealth gap is widening because one side owns assets while the other side only owns expenses. Okay, it's the boomers that bought the house for 50 grand 30 years ago. Now it's worth 500-600 grand and they don't give it. The other side of the coin is, hey, I'm just spending my money on DoorDash and Uber Eats, even though I don't think that's reality. I think you're an idiot if you use those services, but that's just my opinion. First of all, you're eating slop. Literal slop, okay? Second of all, you're paying a premium to do so because you're too lazy to actually get in your car and go. Put this into perspective. You're too lazy to drive to get to the slop factory. You're too lazy to drive to the slop factory to eat the slop. You need another human being to deliver your slop to your door so you can just put it in a trough like an animal and just football. Oh, NFL, this is my team. Stop the bread and circus. Go do some pull-ups. Go do some Navy SEAL burpees. Have some self-respect. Anyway, the uncomfortable truth is this. The only hedge against the widening gap is ownership. Asset ownership. Protect your pee-pee. Protect your pee-pee. Listen to me. You guys, oh, but Dave said that. Shut up. That means stocks, commodities, real estate, Bitcoin, anything with productive or scarcity value, okay, precious metals, whatever. You don't need to beat NVIDIA. You just need to not get run over by inflation, okay? Hopefully this video was helpful for you. Share it with 12,000 friends. This is the one last thing I want to end the video on. U.S. private sector financial assets relative to GDP since 1951. Look at where we're at right now. This is the quantitative easing era. If you guys weren't around for this, this is QE1, 2, 3, 4, infinity. Quantitative easing is a fancy word for money printing, okay? Look at the price of houses. Look at the price of assets that are tied to the financial system. Did they go down nominally or did they go up nominally? They skyrocketed nominally. Did your wages skyrocket nominally? No. You maybe got some cost of living adjustments. You maybe got 2, 3, 4% raise just to maybe keep up with CPI inflation. Bro, you're getting crushed. I went to Costco the other day. Tenderloin was like $32 a pound. A pound, okay? Your pee-pee, crushed, decimated. Here's the steam. Here's your pee-pee. Here's my pee-pee. Here's the steamroller. Done. Okay. So anyway, my point is, you guys, you need to own assets, whether you believe in the assets or not. Okay. They're inherently tied to the financial system and they will go up and to the right until they can't anymore. At that point, do what my buddy Nate O'Brien is doing and just become a land baron. Just start buying a bunch of land because they ain't making any more of it. All right, guys. Hopefully you got value from this. If you want to join the best finance community in the world, on planet Earth, in the universe, maybe in the entire Milky Way galaxy, check out Whiteboard Finance University down below. You're going to look at the price and say, $67 a month. What is it? Dude, you get full courses. You get live streams with me every week. If you can't afford $67 a month, stop watching this channel. I can't help you, okay? I know that sounds very pompous and callous or whatever. You need to understand, if you can't afford $67 a month, you need to increase your education. You need to increase your value to the marketplace. You need to get a higher paying job, or you need to start a service or something that helps other people to make money. Because at the end of the day, it's not going to get any cheaper to live in this country. I'm going to tell you right now. Peace. Hi, I'd like to buy one Honda Accord, please. Sure, that'll be $75,000. Hi, I'd like to buy one ribeye steak, please. Sure, that'll be $843. Give me your made-up fiat currency units.